Lawrence starts off this hour in Charleston, South Carolina. Hey, Lawrence, how are you?
Hey, Dave. Pleasure to speak with you.
You too.
Calling in because I graduated recently from dental school in 2014. Have about $309,000 in dental school debt, and I have $100,000 in savings. A monthly income between $12,000 and $16,000. Expenses, fixed expenses each month around $7,000 And what I'm trying to figure out.
I'm sorry. How do you have $7,000 in fixed expenses if you just got out of dental school?
Well, that was 2014. I'm talking about my mortgage, my student loan, cars.
So you went and bought a bunch of crap even though you were $300,000 in debt.
Well, I had to have a car and needed a house.
Yeah. So what kind of car you got?
I drive a Lexus GX.
Yeah. Okay. And it's new?
2015.
Yeah, 2 years ago it was new when you bought it. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right. Well, you needed a car. You need that one. Okay, I'm back with you. You got a mess on your hands. So what are you going to do about it?
Don't disagree.
What are you going to do about it?
Don't disagree. Well, I was calling because, I've got a lot in savings, and I've got a lot of student debt, and at the same time, I'm trying to figure out, should I spend more? Should I take what's in my student, in my savings and pay towards my debt? How much should I have in my savings? Where do I go from here?
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I think it's safe to say you tried to borrow your way into prosperity and you figured out that plan doesn't work.
Yes, sir.
And so the opposite direction is obviously the plan that gets you to prosperity, meaning wealth, the fastest.
Yes, sir.
Because if you had your income and no payments, oh my goodness, you'd be wealthy so fast that it'd be unbelievable, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So that's where we need to get.
My capacity to save each month is about $6,000 to $7,000 after I've paid, all of my other expenses.
Okay. And so what is your household income a year?
Household income is probably about $260.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Okay, and you have $309, and how much in non-student loan, non-mortgage debt? Just the cars?
Non-student, just the cars.
And what do you owe on them?
Currently, I think the GX is about $29,000.
Mm-hmm. Each?
The other car is a lease. It costs me about $400 a month.
What would it take to pay it off?
Probably $24,000.
Yeah, okay. So 50, 60 grand of your 100 makes you car payment debt free. Then all we have left is mortgages. Then all we have left is student loans. Student loans. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And the other thing here's what happens to you docs. We call it doc-itis. Okay, and you have a classic case of doc-itis. And that is that you are absolutely wonderful at delaying pleasure to win. And so what happens is you go to school, 4 or 5 years longer than everybody else, right? And you make no money while all your buddies are out there making money. They graduate with a BA and they're going, right? Or a BS and they're going. Or they came out of high school and they started a technology company and they're going, man. And you're looking around, these people are all making money. You're still in school.
Correct.
But the goal is to be a doc. The goal is to be a dentist, right? DDS, man, we got to get that thing. We're after it. And game on.
Sir.
We're out chasing the goal. And you're delaying pleasure for a greater good. If I can just get through this thing, then I'm going to make bank and it'll all be okay. All right?
Right.
And you emotionally are, in that sense, you're emotionally very, very mature and far beyond the average cat walking around. I'm bragging on you because here's what happens. It's almost as if you've been holding your breath, and as soon as you graduate and pass your boards and get your job, it's like you have this exhale of lifestyle. And even though you're $309,000 in debt, you go buy 2 cars and a house instantaneously. And all
the house was in the last year. I just recently got.
Well, you're still exhaling then, okay? Do you get my point? You've been delaying pleasure, and instead of staying with that a little bit longer and knocking off the 309, you preempted your ability. You neutered your ability to get at the 309 by adding all these other payments and lifestyle.
Correct.
And so if you want to get to wealth, the fastest thing you can do is go back to the pain of living like no one else so that later you can live and give like no one else. That wasn't the phrase you used when you were in dental school, when you were in undergrad heading towards dental school, but it's what you were thinking. I'm going to pay a price now so that I win later.
Yes, sir.
And you have that emotional capacity and maturity. We know that because you're a DDS. You couldn't have gotten there if you didn't have that. I want you to tap into that and get your wife on board to tap into that. I want y'all to cut your lifestyle to nothing. I don't want to hear about your $260,000 income and you going on vacation because you are a broke dentist. You have $309,000 worth of debt, and you're either going to screw around with this debt for the next decade and be a classic broke dentist, or you're going to knock it out in the next 2.5 or 3 years, pay off the cars today, hold a small emergency fund, very small, like $5,000 in your case. Usually we say $1,000, but crap, you make $250,000 a year, so we'll make it $5,000, and then you guys get after that student loan debt. No, I mean, don't buy anything. You don't get to go out to eat. You don't have time. You're paying on debt. Scorched earth lifestyle. And if you can't do that and then sell your house. But I don't think you got to sell your house. I don't think you got to sell your cars. Because I think you have a $260,000 income. But you need to stop investing. No more investing. No more saving. We're going to beat the snot out of $309,000. If you do that, the numbers say you'll be debt-free in less than 3 years.
So would the best advantage at this point then to be to pay off the cars?
Yes.
And then
Today.
Just get that monthly cash flow up so that I can get back to paying off the debt.
And get on a budget that's tighter than the one you're living on.
Yes, sir.
Okay, because you said $6,000 or $7,000 a month. I need you at about $9,000 a month going towards the debt. $9,000 into $300,000 gets you there in 31 months, 32 months, not counting interest, and that puts you on a 3-year schedule. That's what I want you on. That's the math I was just doing. But dude, I mean, that's only $120,000 a year. You make $260,000. So you cry me a river about your lifestyle. Do this in 3 years. You can do it. You can do it. Live like no one else. No discipline seems pleasant at the time. Oh, but it yields a harvest of righteousness. That's from the Bible, for those of you that don't know. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.